Hi, this is Dave McClure with Founders Fund, and we're here at Startup2Startup for March 2009. I have with me Tony Hsieh.
Hello.
Tony is the CEO of Zappos.com and has also done several different ventures in his past. So Tony, maybe you could talk a little bit about, you've been a twice times entrepreneur at the very least. Your first venture was Link Exchange, and how was that similar or different to what you're doing now at Zappos?
Well, actually, I've had a lot of other entrepreneur adventures as well. I had a newspaper out in middle school and was running a mail order business where people would send these pin-on button or photos, and I would convert them into pin-on buttons and send them back to them for $1. But yeah, Link Exchange was my first, VC-funded startup, and I think it was a great learning experience. We grew it to about 100 or so people and then ended up selling it to Microsoft in 1998. But I think what a lot of people don't know is the reason why we ended up selling it, and it's because the company culture just went downhill and it just ended up not being a fun place to go into. Like, I would kind of dread going into the office in the morning, so that was kind of a weird thing. So with Zappos, wanted to make sure we didn't make that same mistake again, and so our number one priority at the company has always been company culture, and so that's a huge difference between Link Exchange and Zappos. And also, I think, Link Exchange, I was fresh out of college, and the idea was more, grow something and then either sell it or whatever, whereas now with Zappos, it's really more about trying to build something for the long term. So just different mindset, I guess.
So definitely you've had two sort of large-scale businesses of one form or another, and it sounded like you had a bunch of other businesses. Did you actually do something with pizza delivery, or is that just more modern myth?
Yeah, no, so in college, had a pizza business that basically I had set up a place on the ground floor of our dorm, and we had 300 or 400 people in the dorm, and so was selling pizzas, hiring workers, and that's actually how I met Alfred, who's our CFO and COO here at Zappos now. And he was my number one customer, and I was running the pizza business again.
And I guess before you went on to Zappos, there was another restaurant business that you did that I've actually eaten at called Venture Frogs up in the city, which was both your venture investment group as well as a restaurant. Could you tell us maybe a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we were actually located at 1000 Van Ness in San Francisco, and so there are lofts on the upper floors of that building, and there's also movie theaters, a gym on the third floor, and our offices were on the first and second floor, and we also had a restaurant that my parents ran, and so the whole idea was we could incubate these startups, and the people would basically live, sleep, and work there and eat there and basically never leave the building, and that actually literally happened several times.
I mean, I think a lot of people think work-live kind of incubators are a little bit crazy, but I actually think that's a really cool idea. And so now you're running Zappos, and I guess you're here to talk to us tonight about how sort of company culture and happiness and great customer service really can create a big, an interesting company or a great company. How do you think that impacts startups in particular? How does sort of great customer service or great company culture impact the startup world?
I think it really depends. There's definitely founders of startups have different goals. Some of them just want to build something quick and cash out, and nothing wrong with that. I think for those types of companies, happiness is not necessarily as important. But if you're trying to build a company or a brand for the long term, meaning 10 years plus, 20 years plus, then I think happiness is really important, and it's just, part of it is just about what stage you're in life and what you're looking for. But there's actually a whole science of happiness that I've been personally interested in researching over the past year or so, and it's just interesting applying those concepts and figuring out how do you apply it to your own personal life, how do you apply it to your employees. Because, for example, at Zappos, our goal is that if you're an employee at Zappos today, we still want you to be an employee 10 years from now. Whereas for some companies, the expectation is the employee is going to leave within 3 or 4 years. So it just kind of depends on what your goals are for your company and what you're trying to build.
Well, thanks for spending some time with us, and we wish you the utmost in happiness going forward. And we hope we have a great session tonight.
Great, thanks.